We're breaking down the numbers of the day in News in Numbers, and these numbers are all about entertainment. Tonight we're looking at 6, 4, and 32. First, half a dozen media companies, including Netflix, Walt Disney Company, CBS, and its Showtime unit, have said they would reconsider working in Georgia if the state passes an abortion ban. That ban would outlaw abortions after a fetal heartbeat can be detected. Next, J.K. Rowling says she's going to release 4 new Harry Potter ebooks. They will be short stories themed around lessons learned at Hogwarts. They'll be available on her Pottermore website next month. And finally, it's just another week in the books for Jeopardy! James Holzhauer. He won his 32nd straight game tonight. In total, he has won more than $2,462,000. See if he will pass Ken Jennings' total winnings Monday night at 7:30 right here on WTSP.